dealing with the aftermath of a relationship ending and dealing with the depression that comes with the end of an era and the end of something that you held on to very dearly, that meant something to you, is one of the hardest things to go through. It's one of the hardest things to deal with. And better than anything, I get it. The thoughts that race through your head, the thoughts of the future that could have been gone, the thoughts of what you could have did differently, or how you could have made different decisions or better decisions, or the thoughts on what things really meant when they were said, or the thoughts of how differently things could have gone if you guys had made different choices. I get it. And all of this, it combines into an anxiety. It combines into a depression. It sends you into a place where you're left questioning who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, how you're going to get there. You're left questioning what's next. Because when you actually love somebody, when somebody actually means something to you and they're actually someone of substance in your life, how could you not be tied to them? Like, how can they not be tied to a part of your identity? And when that person gets up and leaves you, ultimately you lose that part of your identity. Or if you are forced to leave them for whatever reason, you lose that part of your identity. And so dealing with this depression as a man, as a person, as a woman, as a human being can be very, very difficult. We're going to talk about it. First, hit that intro. The depression that comes with dealing with a breakup is not easy to handle. It's not easy to handle at all. And one of the first things you must get to, one of the first thoughts you must get comfortable with is fundamentally everything has changed. It's changed. There will never be a relationship like the one you were just in. Even if you guys reconnect, even if you guys get back together, even if you guys reform that relationship, whatever that relationship may be, because it doesn't just have to be a romantic relationship. Whatever that relationship may be, it'll never be the same because it won't be the old relationship. But this is a good thing. You have to look at it as a good thing, because this is a chance to make that relationship better than it ever was in the past, to make this new version of that relationship a better version of that relationship, to do those things that you thought about differently. But you must get comfortable with the fact that that relationship is not coming back in the form that it once was. And it's getting comfortable with that makes it so hard to deal with the depression of having lost it. You have to think about it like this. As a person, losing anything, the fear of loss is such a great fear in humans in general that we'll do things that we otherwise wouldn't do for fear of loss. And the reason why that fear is so great is because we understand naturally the gravity of not being able to get something back, not being able to recreate a moment in time, not being able to recreate a connection that's broken, not being able to recreate something that holds this deep meaning for us, right? We're not able to get that back. But you have to get comfortable with the fact that you cannot have that back, and you will not have that back. But it is some bright side to that, because even though you won't be able to get that back, even though you won't be able to have that back, you can have something better. You can have something new. You can have something refreshing. You can have something different. And that means different in a good way. Because the reality is, you got to the point that you got. That person left you, or you left them, or the relationship ended, or something happened. It got to that point because some things, one thing, five things, whatever, something was not right. Something was not perfect. Something was not where it needed to be with that relationship. And now with this new start, you get the chance to correct that, whether that be with a new person in the future, whether that be with a new friendship, with a new whatever. You get to correct that moving forward. You get to correct that thing within yourself, and you get to correct what you accept, and you get to draw boundaries in the way that you need to. I understand better than anybody that depression that comes with the end of a relationship and the choice to end a relationship is palpable. You feel it. You can reach out and grab it. That's how strong it is. It's one of the worst feelings in the world, because you understand that this thing that I once loved, I can't have back, or I potentially cannot get back. So it's just one of the worst things in the world. And sometimes it gets the best of us, which brings me to my second thought on dealing with the depression of losing a relationship. Accept the feelings that come along with it. Do not try to fight the feelings. Do not try to fight sadness. Do not try to fight the feeling of loss. Do not try to fight the feeling of loneliness. Do not try to fight these things. Embrace them, because ultimately you have to feel it to heal it, bro. You have to. The only way you're gonna get to the other side and gain clarity and gain yourself back and gain your identity back and gain your ability to feel like yourself again and feel good again is to go through it. You got to feel all the feelings. If that means you got to cry about it, cry. If that means you got to rage about it, go to a rage room. If that means you have to go through these feelings. And so you have to embrace them and understand that there is a path to the end. Because it brings me to my number 3. It's going to get harder before it gets better. Because you have to go through these feelings. Because you have to accept that there may never be this connection again, just like this, in this way. It's going to get hard. Coping with it is going to get hard. But you have to. It's the only way to get through this depression. And the best way to do that and the best way to cope with it is to understand that, hey, if I don't get up and get going and start to refresh my life, and what I mean by refresh my life is start working towards that thing you always wanted to do. Start that hobby you always wanted to start. Start to be that person that you see yourself as. If you have something to work towards, it is easier to cope with those feelings. It is easier to do what you need to do to become who you want to become, and to get over it and let it go. Because if there's something to look forward to, you're not thinking about the past. Which brings me to my final thought about dealing with the depression of losing a relationship. When you lose a relationship, both parties are ultimately going to be hurt. It might feel like the other party moved on faster than you wanted. It might feel like it's constantly going to be a back and forth forever. It might feel like it's never going to get better. You have to embrace the fact that there will be another side. It will get better. But the only way that it's going to get better is if you get up and you put the work in for it to be better. That means working on yourself, becoming a better version of yourself. That means going further than you ever have with your self-development and self-improvement. And understanding that it's perfectly normal to grieve and mourn the loss of somebody you actually care about. You have to make the choice. And that's why this is part of my choices series, this video. You have to make the choice that you are going to be okay. Because the reality is, you're going to be okay. You just have to get there. Keep on working. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Comment below what you think. Comment below what you're going through. It's your boy, Kaden the Rake Man. I'm up out of here.